cats and kitties, I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues. With this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 12 of the anime series, Akuma no Riddle. And this episode was pretty compelling for the most part, picking up where we left off, with Takaku seemingly ready to kill Haru, take her life, because within her psyche, she's really been trying to understand, was she being controlled by Haru, this, queen bee-ism, this mentality that Haru is supposed to be able to exude, and basically manipulate people into doing whatever she wants to help her survive. And it's interesting to me that, through the course of this episode, we find that Neo is actually somewhat of a shapeshifter. She can, sort of embody Takaku, which she does in this episode. So we have Takaku essentially fighting herself. It was very compelling to see that, sort of different aspects of the same kind of mind, the same kind of thinking, were going against each other, very much physically represented, with two Takakus fighting each other. Haru just, off in the background, horrified about what's going on. She doesn't want to see Takaku lose her life and all this kind of stuff. But she's also bewildered that Takaku would ever try to attack her and kill her. And so it just ramps up to the nth degree where you have them fighting. And, finally it looks like one of the Takakus, respectively, the Neo Takaku, as it were, ends up being sort of taken down, stabbed in the chest, and finally the genuine Takaku is revealed. And we've had a couple flips back and forth where we're not sure which one is the real one during the sequence, but in fact the real Takaku is the one who's thinking about killing Haru to prove the point. And Haru decides at the last second, you know what, I can't do this, I can't let this stand, I can't die right now. So she ends up lunging at Takaku with a blade in hand. And of course, the series almost did something I really didn't think it had the cojones to pull off, was that Takaku killed Haru. That's seemingly where we left off for a time. And I was ready to stand up and applaud this series. I was going to rave about it. And then, of course, we get to the point where Takaku's being asked, what her wish is, because she has now fulfilled the whole goal of killing Haru, and, she is the winner, essentially, taking her life, so she gets whatever she wants. And she says there's one thing she wants, she can't have it anymore, she cries. And then we go into this sequence that just sort of unwound the entire thing for me to a degree. Haru has survived, in fact. We find out that she survived because one of her ribs, with all the scarring on her body and everything, one of her ribs was like, steel or what have you. And the blade, when, Takaku stabbed her in defense, kind of, didn't pierce her heart, so she was able to survive. And I was okay with that. I mean, seeing her finally getting her wish of making it to graduation day, I could live with that. I was kind of happy that it turned out that way, actually. But then we find out that no one in Class Black has died. We have this entire montage sequence where we're catching up with each and every one of the girls, the assassins in Class Black. They're all fine. None of them have actually died. And it's kind of disappointing that, because it's like, well, what the hell was all this for then? Nobody was actually in any kind of jeopardy all the way through. It was kind of feigning that jeopardy to us all through the episodes. And that was really kind of disappointing to me, seeing that every single one of these assassins is still very much alive and well, and, nobody had any repercussions that they had to pay, that kind of thing. And so it did kind of underwhelm on that level. But I actually did like the last shot of the series, where we basically see, after Haru has had her celebrations of graduation, she meets Takaku outside, and they leave together. They've professed their love and concern for each other, and so I like that, it ends on a high note, a positive note, but still I kind of wish that it hadn't completely undermined all of the things that had happened from beginning to the end of the series, where we thought people were actually dying, we thought lives were actually being taken. And sure enough, lo and behold, this series basically just wraps it up with a nice little bow saying, hey, you know what, all of that, forget it, it was a joke. Nobody died, everyone's fine, everyone lives happily ever after. So, I mean, there weren't any consequences by the end. But I have to say, for me personally, watching this series without any familiarity of, source materials based on and everything like that, frankly, I thought the series had a lot of ups and downs for me, hits and misses. They were really strong episodes that really drew me in, were really compelling, had characters, the assassins of Class Black, that I was compelled by watching and just riveted by the action going on. And then there were episodes that I really just didn't feel, you know, were well made enough to really draw me in and make me feel compelled and feel interested in what was going on or care about characters. But all in all, I have to say, you know, from beginning to end, the series was much more enjoyable than not. You know, essentially, it's definitely one that I'll remember. So otherwise, that'll be pretty much it for me on this. I hope this video finds you well. I'll catch you all later. Peace.